Hi YouTube, I'm back, and today we are going to make a Mexican dish called guiso. Kind of like when you order carne guisada, but it's a different kind of broth, but it's pronounced the same way with a G-U-I-S-O, guiso. And guisada is G-U-I-S-A-D-A. It's guiso. So basically, you can have guiso de beef, you can have, guiso of beef, guiso of chicken, guiso of pork. You can have guiso of anything, really. My mom traditionally makes it with chicken. I found pork chops on clearance at the store, and I got 10 half-inch thick boneless pork chops, and I think they were on clearance because today was the final day for them. I got all 10 pork chops for like $2, so I wasn't leaving that in the store. So basically, I've got my pot here, and I put in a couple of tablespoons of olive oil, not a whole lot. And basically what I'm going to add is, I cubed up those 10 pork chops. So we're going to add the pork and the onion. Yeah, and that's what you want to hear. You want to hear that sizzle. Anytime you start a Mexican dish, you're going to want to hear that sizzle. And then you just saute that around in the olive oil. Oh, doesn't that sound fantastic? This is real food, real cooking. Okay, and you just basically use this time to break up your onions. Oh my God, the smell. And I haven't even added any seasonings yet. The smell coming off of this is incredible. So, look at that. Oh my God, you should be here right now. Now I wish we had smell-o-vision. Oh, okay. It's really good. That's what home smells like to me. Remember coming home after school and my mom would have this made. Oh my God. And then my mom would make these homemade corn tortillas, and this makes like a little broth when you make it. You know, there's a little broth left, and you just dip those tortillas into the broth, and then, oh my God, that just leaves the whole thing open for you to just suck your fingers, and oh my God, it is so good. Okay, so this isn't exactly completely done, but I want to reach for that piece of pork chop that I dropped back there, but oh my God, that just smells incredible. It's not completely done, and it's still moderately raw, but that's irrelevant. Basically, at this point, we also want to add a couple of cloves of minced garlic or chopped garlic. Whether you want it fine or not, that's completely up to you. And we want to add, I make my own homemade seasoning here, taco seasoning. So I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of that to the pot. And I'm going to let those spices, I'm going to coat all of the meat and onions with the spices and let it all toast up. And those spices are going to get hot and toasty, and they're going to get aromatic, and it's just going to blend so nicely. Oh, the smell is incredible. But you don't have to make my taco seasoning, but you can buy the Lowry's taco seasoning or the grocery store taco seasoning, or here in San Antonio we have Bollner's taco seasoning, and you can also find generic taco seasonings as well. But basically my taco seasoning is 2 tablespoons of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of chili powder, a heaping teaspoon of cumin, a teaspoon of garlic, 1/8 of a teaspoon of black pepper, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne. Just 1/8 of a teaspoon. I don't want to kill anybody. So there you go. The juices are rendering from the carrots. The juices are rendering from the onion. And there's like a little juice down there. I don't know if you can see the sauce beginning down there, but it's a bubbling. Oh, the smell is incredible. And you know what it actually smells like? It actually smells like carne guisada, which can also be, you can also use pork for carne guisada. And I'm using pork, so the smells are just coming off of this. Oh, driving me nuts. Okay, now what I'm going to do,
'Cause he's not dead. 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 'Cause he's not dead.
There you go. There you go. To make it kind of tomatoey, put some an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce in there. So it's basically the 10 pork chops that I've cut into strips, 1 medium-sized onion, and we're going to add a 28-ounce can of tomato with the juice. Y luego means and then, we are going to add our cilantro, which I know a lot of people can. Oh, there was some onion there that I missed. But I know a lot of people can live without cilantro. If you don't like it, don't add it. But oh my God, it just lends. People, cilantro lends to your cooking like you wouldn't believe. A lot of people say that it has the flavor of soap, but to me, it doesn't. To me, it is awesome. I never used to like cilantro as a kid, and now I can't live without it. I can't. If I'm going to make guiso or Mexican chicken broth, or sometimes I like to leave onions and tomatoes, you know, in big chunks, and add cilantro to my rice. You know, put a little cilantro in the rice with the chunky vegetables in the Mexican rice. So, okay. So we got that also. It looks like Christmas. Okay, so here's what we're going to do now. We are going to, I don't have pork stock, and everybody knows, and if you don't, I'm going to tell you now, chicken stock is universal. That is, you know, it blends out. You can use chicken stock in beef, and it won't taste like chicken. So here, basically, everybody does this. It's frugal mama here. All right. So clean out those cans, and then just add broth to cover. And you'll notice, no, I did not use salt. You'll hear me say time and time and again, I don't like to use a lot of salt in my cooking. I like to let the people who are eating, namely my kids and family members, I like to let them put in their own salt. So, and plus I'm using regular chicken broth. The yellow broth, I accidentally had to buy, I typically go and buy 12 to 24 boxes of this chicken broth at a time if I don't make my own. But I have like about 800 of these in my pantry. I cannot live without broth. I typically buy reduced sodium. And that's a green box. You'll typically find me with the yellow box when I run out of the green box stuff. Just a little bit to cover. No salt, because this has plenty of salt in it. Now, remember, don't use this spoon. This spoon has raw pork on it. Put it in the sink. All right, and then we're going to reach in here. Hey, I'm using a Le Creuset pot. Do you think Le Creuset would give me an endorsement? Because I sure would love a whole bunch of these. Put the lid on, set your timer for 20 minutes, and walk away. Put it on, right now I got it going, but you want to put it down to medium heat and walk away. We'll be back when it's pretty much ready to serve. Okay, it's been 20 minutes. Let's check on the guiso. Oh, and you can even see that the liquid is here, and it's reduced down by at least, what, maybe a third? I don't know. Those onions look like they could go a little bit more. I don't like my onions too crispy. If I'm going to be stewing meats, I want the vegetables to be stewed too. Oh, it's awesome. Pretty good. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to let it go for 10 more minutes just to soften up those onions a little bit more. I want them to break down a little bit more. And then we'll be back when it's time to serve. And I also wanted to let you guys know, if you would prefer to not have, you see how the liquid is really, really loose? Now, seeing as how I'm only going to let it go for about another 10 minutes. Well, at this point, 9 minutes. Basically, at this point, what I have done, like I went out of town for my birthday, and basically what I did was I left a pot of this on the stove. Well, it turned off, of course. Nobody burned up or anything. I still have a kitchen. But basically, with all this soupy liquid, you could add some pre-cooked white rice, and it will absorb the flavors with all the Mexican spices in it. If it's not spicy enough for you or flavorful enough for you, you can also add a couple of tablespoons, maybe a quarter cup of salsa to give it a little spark, and then add maybe some pre-cooked white rice, or maybe what I like to do is I like to use the boil-in bag brown rice. I like to cut the bag open and just pour that rice in there. So, and then it just gets nice and stewy, and you don't have to worry about making an entire pan of Mexican rice, because the flavors are absorbed by the rice, and you essentially have the flavors of Mexican rice without having to have made a whole pan. Okay, and it has been 10 minutes. Turn that timer off. And we're going to give the guiso a stir. Awesome. Those onions broke down just the way I wanted them to. Now, let me show you how to serve. We'll serve the baby first. We'll serve him. My baby is 10. I make him eat off this plate. He's all I have left. Give him a little rice, which has come down to actually room temperature. Oh, look. This is my baby dressed up like Thor for Halloween. Isn't that cute? He was Thor. And then look, this is Ben. That's my other son, my oldest, for Halloween. Proof vampires shouldn't sparkle. This is Ben as well. He's trying to jumpstart his career in modeling. And this was Thomas dressed up like the Hulk. And then we have Zeke dressed up like Iron Man. And Eli dressed up like Captain America. So basically, we had the Avengers. We went as the Avengers for Halloween before the Avengers became cool. And this is my Colorado sky. I went to Colorado to see my husband a while back, last year in August, I think. No, September. And we went up there for a week, and I caught this sky. I like to tell my husband the sky was waiting just for me. And this is the street. Isn't that gorgeous? I don't know if you guys can really see that. This is poor lighting here in my kitchen. But this is the street I drive through to get home. And it just brings me such peace. There is a shorter way to get home. This takes me 2 miles out of my way, but I always have to drive down this 2-mile stretch of road because there's deer everywhere. And you know, even if you don't live on that street, the neighbors wave at you. It's awesome to live in this neighborhood. I love my neighbors, but this is the road home. And oh, look. And here's me back in the younger, thinner days with my husband when my model baby was still an egg-headed 6-month-old. Me in the thinner days and the cabbie without a beard. Oh, and anyway, the baby's standing here, rice getting cold. So basically, you want to take your rice.
You're forgetting a person.
Who am I forgetting?
John.
I'm forgetting John. He wants me to remind you that he's got another brother. This is Jonathan. I love that picture of him. I went crazy one year and got them all purple backgrounds. But this is Jonathan. It's my 18-year-old brooding, moody, gothic skateboarder dude. So basically, I have 6 sons. 6 boys. Oh, and then there's the husband. But, and so basically, let's serve this child. He's standing here chomping at the bit. So basically, you want to give him some of the rice and then dip in and give him some broth. And there you go. Guiso con arroz mexicano. Nice warm tortillas and you're good to go. This is how Texas Mexicans heat up tortillas. No fancy highfalutin pan here. This is how it's done.